I counted 14 separate tire tracks, cutting directly across the corner of my front hedge over the course of 5 months. Every single one traced back to the same white sedan belonging to our HOA's landscaping committee chair, before I finally installed a fully legal, properly permitted boundary marker exactly where her front bumper needed to stop existing. My name is Terence Hollies. I'm 44 years old, and my wife Adaline and I have lived inside a community called Sable Point for almost 9 years, on a corner lot bordered by a low, carefully maintained boxwood hedge running along the edge of our property closest to the street. A hedge that had, for years, marked a clean, attractive corner that also happened to sit close enough to the community's internal road that drivers cutting the turn too tightly occasionally clipped its outermost edge, a minor, infrequent annoyance I'd simply accepted as an ordinary cost of owning a corner lot. But occasional minor clipping became something considerably more deliberate and considerably more frequent, starting about 5 months before I finally did anything drastic about it. Once I noticed the exact same tire track pattern appearing across that same corner of hedge with a regularity that felt too consistent to be simple, careless driving. I want to explain how I confirmed the pattern, because it mattered enormously once this eventually became a genuine dispute rather than a vague suspicion. I installed a simple doorbell camera angled toward that corner of the yard, mostly out of curiosity, and within the first week confirmed exactly what I'd started to suspect: a white sedan driven by a woman named Glenys Pratt, who chaired our HOA's landscaping committee, cutting that same corner at speed almost every weekday morning on her way out of the community, tires running directly across the hedge's outer edge each time. I approached Glenys directly after confirming the pattern, showing her a few clips from my camera and asking, as politely as I could manage, if she could simply take the turn a bit wider going forward. She acknowledged the footage without much apparent concern, explaining that the community's internal road was, in her opinion, poorly designed at that particular corner, making a wider turn genuinely inconvenient during her regular morning schedule. An explanation that struck me as a strange thing to offer, given that every other resident navigating that same corner somehow managed to do so without repeatedly driving over my landscaping. The pattern continued regardless, and I filed a formal complaint with the HOA board about 6 weeks after that initial conversation, a complaint that, given Glenys's own standing on the landscaping committee, moved through the community's internal process with a level of slowness that left me increasingly frustrated, receiving only a mild acknowledgement rather than any concrete commitment to actually change her driving habits. I want to describe the 14th incident specifically, because it's the one that finally pushed me toward a permanent solution rather than continuing to wait for the HOA's internal process to accomplish anything. My camera captured Glenys cutting that same corner on a morning when Adaline happened to be standing near the hedge doing routine maintenance, close enough that the footage showed her stepping back quickly, visibly startled, as the sedan's tires ran across the edge of the hedge only a few feet from where she'd been kneeling moments earlier, a detail that transformed this, in my mind, from a persistent landscaping annoyance into something with genuine safety implications I wasn't willing to keep tolerating. I called an attorney the following week, a careful property litigator named Odessa Vance, and asked her directly what legal options existed for permanently preventing vehicles from cutting across that corner of my property without creating any liability exposure of my own. Odessa explained that a property owner has every right to install a reasonable, clearly visible boundary marker along their own property line, so long as it complied with any applicable setback requirements and didn't create an unreasonable, hidden hazard for anyone using the road in good faith, a distinction she emphasized carefully, since a barrier installed specifically to cause damage rather than simply mark a boundary could expose me to liability of my own if it was found to be excessive, poorly marked, or positioned specifically to entrap rather than simply deter. With that guidance in mind, I hired a landscaping and hardscape contractor named Dario Kessling and had him install a series of substantial decorative boulders along the exact legal property line, set back precisely to the required distance from the road itself, each one clearly visible, appropriately sized for a residential landscaping feature rather than anything resembling a hidden obstacle, and fully permitted through the county's standard residential landscaping approval process. A detail I made sure to document thoroughly, given how directly relevant it would likely become if anyone ever tried driving over that corner again. The boulders sat in place for just under 3 weeks before Glynis cut that same corner again. On a morning her own testimony later confirmed, she was running slightly behind schedule, driving at roughly her usual speed through a turn she'd apparently made the exact same way for months, without ever adjusting her habit despite my earlier complaint. And by that point, 3 separate written notices from the HOA board itself following up on my original grievance. I want to describe what my camera footage showed, because it left essentially no room for dispute once the case reached any kind of formal review. Glynis's sedan struck the largest of the boundary boulders directly with her front bumper at a speed the footage's timestamp, cross-referenced against the distance involved, suggested was well above what any reasonable driver would use navigating a tight residential corner, resulting in significant front-end damage to her vehicle, an airbag deployment, and thankfully, no injury beyond what she later described as a jarring but ultimately minor jolt. Glynis's initial reaction, once she'd composed herself enough to get out of the car, was anger directed squarely at me, insisting the boulders constituted an illegal, deliberately dangerous obstruction she'd had no way of anticipating. I want to be honest that I felt genuine sympathy for the shock of the moment, but very little for the underlying argument, given that the boulders had been clearly visible, professionally installed, fully within the legal property setback, and sitting in plain view for nearly 3 weeks before she drove directly into one. A deputy who responded to the accident call documented the scene thoroughly, and I provided both the county's approved landscaping permit and my own doorbell camera footage showing the full 3-week visibility window, along with the prior 14 documented incidents of Glynis cutting that exact corner, evidence that once reviewed left the responding officer with little ambiguity about how the collision had actually occurred. A driver failing to adjust a turn she'd been repeatedly warned about, striking a fully legal, clearly visible landscaping feature installed well within its permitted boundary. Glynis threatened legal action anyway, retaining her own attorney who argued, in an initial letter to Odessa, that the boulders represented an unreasonable hazard regardless of their legal placement. Odessa's response was direct, and based on how quickly the matter ultimately resolved, apparently persuasive enough on its own, laying out the full permit documentation, the clear visibility established across 3 weeks of undisturbed footage, and the 14 prior documented incidents establishing that Glynis herself had a demonstrated pattern of driving over that exact corner well before any barrier was ever installed, undermining any claim that the collision resulted from anything other than her own continued, uncorrected driving habit meeting an obstacle she'd simply failed to notice or account for. The case never reached a formal court hearing, resolving instead once Glynis's own insurance company, after reviewing the same documentation, declined to pursue any claim against me and closed the matter as a single vehicle accident resulting from driver error, a conclusion that effectively ended any realistic path toward the lawsuit her attorney had initially threatened. Glynis stepped down from the landscaping committee within a few weeks of the accident, a resignation that, based on what a few neighbors told me directly, followed some genuinely pointed conversations among other board members once the full documented history, 14 prior incidents, and 3 weeks of ignored, fully visible boulders, became common knowledge within the broader community. My hedge has sat undisturbed in the months since, the boulders still standing exactly where Dario installed them, serving now as a fairly permanent, if unintentionally dramatic, reminder for anyone still tempted to cut that corner a little too tightly. I think about that 14th incident sometimes, watching Adaline step back from the hedge just moments before those tires ran past her. The exact moment I stopped waiting for a slow HOA process to fix something a simple, fully legal boundary marker was always going to resolve considerably faster on its own. Glynis Pratt spent 5 months convinced that a few feet of hedge simply belonged to whoever found it inconvenient to drive around, right up until the exact moment a properly permitted boulder made unmistakably and expensively clear exactly whose property that corner had actually been the entire time. Thumbnail text: she drove over MY hedge, MY legal barrier 1.